Have you ever weaponized someone's own bylaws to bankrupt their department? I ran a custom fabrication shop in an artisan syndicate. Years ago, I installed a heavy-duty filtration system for my laser cutter. The exhaust port sat near two adjacent studio windows, but my rig had a programmable baffle plate. I could digitally restrict the airflow angle to bypass surrounding units. I made absolutely sure the exhaust vector was choked off near the neighboring glass. I took air quality seriously and over-engineered the setup from day one. The jeweler next door was a friend. She had zero issues with it. I invited her in, showed her the digital airflow mapping, and proved the exhaust bypassed her intake completely. She laughed and said she didn't care either way, but I kept the restrictor active to be safe. The studio on the other side belonged to Marcus. He was the head of the syndicate board, a failed sculptor with a god complex. We despised each other. Still, I knocked on his door to explain the baffles. I'm not asking for your blessing, I told him, holding out the schematics. I'm giving you the data. Heat climbed my neck as his jaw tightened. Tear that industrial garbage out by Friday, he snapped, or I'll have your lease shredded. A week later, the board served me with a formal breach. Since the lease didn't forbid ventilation, they classified my system as an atmospheric nuisance. I sent a certified reply proving my rig exceeded municipal code. Marcus replied with a condescending email, the board interprets the bylaws. Defy us and see what happens. That's when the real bombshell dropped. If Marcus wanted a war of attrition, I was going to make him bleed cash. The board hired a corporate litigator specifically to break my lease, a move they'd never used before. Over 4 months, I systematically drained $6,000 in legal fees from the board's measly $25,000 annual operating fund. I postponed the mandated arbitration hearing 3 times on legal technicalities. I engaged their litigator in a relentless email chain, knowing the firm billed the syndicate in 15-minute increments. Every time the lawyer answered a question, I replied with 2 more clarifying questions. If Marcus hated it, too bad. He started the meter. I had zero intention of actually facing an arbitrator. On the morning of the hearing, I unbolted the massive exhaust unit, swept the floor, and patched the window frame. Since the bylaws only permitted financial penalties for active violations during the inspection, they walked into the room with nothing to penalize. They found me guilty of a phantom nuisance, but couldn't levy a single fine. Their retaliation was a furious, certified cease and desist from their lawyer. It stated I was strictly prohibited from fastening motorized equipment to the exterior window frames. The phrasing was a fatal mistake. To the window frames. I waited silently until the annual syndicate assembly. During the budget review, I stood up. Can the board explain the $6,000 vanished on administrative research? I asked. All the color drained from Marcus's face. He stammered out a pathetic excuse, but the other artists went feral. They realized their heating fund was vaporized on his personal vendetta. The resulting vote stripped 3 of his cronies from the board immediately. Marcus barely survived. The following Monday, I reinstalled my massive exhaust system. But this time, I didn't touch the window frame. I mounted the heavy-duty unit onto a custom-welded steel rolling cart and parked it a quarter-inch away from the glass. Their own expensive legal threat only banned equipment fastened to the building. It said absolutely nothing about freestanding furniture. Marcus tried sliding another furious warning under my door. I slid it right back with a high-res photo of the rolling casters. He didn't have the budget to fight me again. The rig stayed exactly where it was, venting perfectly, and the board has never dared to say another word.